Hey guys, Kirsty here with another gameplay, or Gunja if that's what you know me as, and I figured it was about time where I actually explained what my username is and what it means and where it come from and all that good stuff. Well, a little bit of history. Originally I started playing games on PC quite a few years ago now, and as you know, on PC you can pretty much get any name you want. Well, you can change it at will. It's not like it is on PlayStation or Xbox where you're sort of stuck to one gamer tag. You can change it at will. But what I used to go by on PC was Gunja Down, as in gunned ya down. You know, I thought it was sort of cute and all. So I stuck with that, and then eventually I transferred over to PS3 because there's just so much more of a community on console than what there is on PC. Although it is so epic to play on PC. The graphics and I don't know, just a keyboard and mouse is just so much more precise than a controller. But I'm now on PS3 and very, very happy. So anyway, of course when I tried to use Gunja Down or any combination of Gunja Down on PS3, it wasn't available because other people already had them. And I'm not really that patient. I did spend 5-10 minutes trying to get the name I wanted, and it just didn't happen. You know, putting random numbers in places of letters and so forth, and then I just gave up. You know, because I'm like that. And I figured it was always a bit frustrating how people assume that I was some sort of 11 or 12-year-old, you know, because of my girly sounding voice. So it became Gunja Girl. So that's just a little bit of history of, where my name come from and, why. In original commentaries, I was saying it's Kirsty or Gunja because, well, that's what people who know me through PSN know me as and always have known me as. So I digress. What I actually wanted to make this commentary about was how I actually ended up gaming at all, because it's quite interesting and it was actually quite a big life-changing event that brought me back to gaming, which honestly is probably quite an interesting story for people who weren't actually there experiencing it for themselves. So I'd always played games as a kid, like always, when I was like a young kid. You know, my first love was a Commodore 64, although that wasn't actually owned by me, it was a friend's. But yes, I'm pretty much showing my age here that I actually know what some of these consoles are. And the first console my parents actually bought for me was a Sega Master System. But look, that was nowhere near as good as the Super Nintendo that I ended up falling in love with for many, many years. I'm a big Mario fan from way back, let's just say that. And, well, Nintendo in general. You know, I had a lot of fun playing GoldenEye on N64 back in the day. I loved my Nintendo 64 when I was a teenager. But then, you know what it's like, you get a little bit older, you grow up, you discover boys and drinking and partying and, you know, all that good stuff. I was quite into the rave scene for a very long time when I was, you know, a late teen, you know, sort of early 20s. So of course video games were just not my priority. Well, they weren't a priority at all. I hadn't played games since I was probably about 14 or 15, although I did play games a lot right up until then. But how did I actually end up here? Well, it was quite an interesting story. My life was perfect. I was loving everything, really happy. Until one day I was driving on the freeway and some random guy in a truck, I'm talking big truck, like big semi-trailer, decided that it would be fun to start ramming my vehicle multiple times until he actually ran me off the road and nearly killed me. He then proceeded to drive away. But, you know, big, long, complicated story, like here I am. But after that, I was unable to work for a while, and I was pretty shitty with the world, honestly. To imagine that some random person could just randomly try and kill me was just a little bit much to cope with. I always had quite a lot of faith in people and humanity in general until something like that happens to you. So I was stuck at home a lot. I had no interest in getting in a car for, wow, probably at least 6 months after this. So I was pretty depressed, you know, at home quite a lot because, well, I was still injured. But I was mainly just depressed because, well, fuck, my entire life had just changed in an instant. And then I needed something to do. So we ended up buying a new gaming computer around about that time. And yeah, I just got back into it all. Modern Warfare 1, yeah, had just come out then. So I was playing that pretty hardcore. And it's just sort of continued from there, honestly. But hey, if some dude hadn't have randomly tried to kill me, I wouldn't be here at all. Like, I wouldn't see myself playing games whatsoever if it wasn't for this one event. Because like I said, I hadn't touched games in a very long time. So guys, I hope that wasn't too painful to listen to. I just thought I'd give you guys a little bit of background because it is quite an interesting story. See you guys.